Hey everybody, what's up? Time for a fresh start for my videos. Alright, so today I got a special treat for you. I'm going to be reviewing the first 3 Sonic games for the Genesis. Alright, let's go ahead and start. Yep, as you can see, the game was developed by Sega, and the very first Sonic game came out in 1991 for the Genesis. It was a huge success. It was by far the game for the Genesis, kind of like how Mario was the game for the NES. So as you can see, the game is designed very, very well. You got some pretty good platforming levels, and it's all very clear, and the graphics look very clean. There are a lot of animations going on, and it gives it a really good feel. As you can see, Sonic is pretty basic, his attacks. He just jumps on the enemies kind of like Mario. And whenever he jumps, he does a special spin move, so he can attack anything in the air. Not everything, but most of the enemies. And one thing that's kind of interesting about this game that kind of separated it from other platformers at the time was the amount of speed. Not many platformers had the amount of speed that this game had. Sure, it has similarities to other platformers that we've seen in the past, but this one definitely has a difference because of the amount of speed. It kind of gives it more of a intuitive difference from the other games like Mario. So the main object of the game is to get from one level to the next, and basically that's kind of it. You just go from one level to the next. But there are different things in the game. Like, as you can see, you have to collect rings, and sometimes you can jump on boxes to get rings. You get them in all the Sonic games. Jump into that little panel, and then you can sometimes jump into a big ring and get into a big mini game. And in the mini game, you basically you jump around in this really crazy maze. You have to try and collect rings to get extra lives, and you have to hit blocks, and you have to collect these Chaos Emeralds. And to tell you the truth, I have no idea what they do. You can collect a bunch of them, but I've never beaten the game because the game's actually pretty hard, so getting continues like that will definitely help. So you should always jump in those rings when you can. So the game has some of the basic platforming cliche items, like you got the kind of star from Mario where you just turn invincible. You can just run through everything. Really helps with the speed, makes it a lot of fun. And once you collect 100 rings, that gets you an extra life, kind of like in Mario also. Oh, that's one thing that's also kind of annoying. When you're going really, really fast in the game, you're having really fun, sometimes you'll just suddenly crash into one of those springs and you'll just go out of whack. That's where you gotta be careful. You gotta make sure that when you're going really fast, you're always aware of what could possibly happen. And that's a continue thing. And at the end of every single zone in the game, you fight Dr. Robotnik, or Eggman. I don't know what his name is. He's different in every game. So the bosses, they're pretty fun. They're kind of basic, but they're very fun. They vary at times. Sometimes he's in a bigger machine, throwing bigger stuff at you, but yeah, they're pretty fun. Yeah. Fuck you. Yay. Alright, well, overall, Sonic the Hedgehog, it's a really great game. I give it an 8.7 out of 10. Alright, next game. Now we got Sonic the Hedgehog 2, released a year later on the Genesis. So this game, it's not entirely different from the first Sonic game. It's pretty similar. It has the same core gameplay. You go from one zone to the next and you beat Dr. Robotnik or Eggman or whatever the hell his name is at the end. But there are some notable differences. Like, for example, see that little fox guy? His name is Tails, and he follows you around. You can't really control him, but he just follows you around and sometimes does a few extra hits. There's nothing really special about him. Well, I don't really like him. He's kind of annoying in my opinion. So as you can see, yep, it's pretty similar to the stuff you've seen in the first Sonic game. One thing that's really cool though is if you're going pretty slow, you can stop whenever you want to, duck, and tap the A button really, really fast to curl up into a ball and speed up at really fast speeds. It really helps when you're going really slow and you want to go fast. Like right there. So the game definitely has a bit more of an emphasis on speed than the first one. Like the first one did, but this one uses it a little bit more. So in this game, the Doctor, whatever the fuck his name is, boss fights, they're back, and they're better than ever. I have to say, they're definitely a lot more interesting. See, he rides in different vehicles every time. One thing that's changed about this Sonic game is that instead of having 3 acts in every zone, there are only 2 acts in every zone. So while that does give the game a bit more of a variety in seeing different kinds of levels, it does make the levels feel a little bit short. You can't help but wish that the levels were made a little bit longer, that the levels were designed maybe just a little bit better. Like, they're pretty well designed, but it would have been nice if they were a little bit longer, and you know, it just could have made the game a bit better. Come on, Tails, get in the water, you little pussy. Come on. Oh, shit. Yep, whenever you get underwater, if you stay under there for too long, a little counter goes down. So you have to collect these big bubbles underwater if you want to keep your air. As you can see, you gotta wait. There you go. I'd have to say my favorite level in the game is the casino one. It's so cool. It's like a giant pinball machine in a level. It's so awesome. Alright, check this out right here. Sweet. Half pipe. Yeah, skateboarding half pipe. You know you can't beat that. Aw, shit. Alright, well, in conclusion, I think that this sequel isn't quite as good as the original Sonic game, but it's still a good platforming game, and it's a lot of fun. I give it an 8.4. Alright, we got time for one more. Sonic the Hedgehog 3. In my opinion, this is the best out of the 3 games I'm reviewing. It's really, really great. It's definitely the best 2D Sonic game I've ever played. What's really cool is that you can have a bunch of save files, and you can also save in this game, unlike the last 2. It gives the game more of a full-fledged feeling, makes it feel like more of a full-fledged game. So the game starts out with a cutscene, and basically it turns into Super Sonic, and I don't really understand the story that much, but apparently Knuckles takes away all your Chaos Emeralds and you gotta chase him. I hate that little bastard. Such an asshole. So, as you can see, the levels are very well designed, just like the last ones. Then the first one's pretty basic. It's the cliche grass level. This gets kind of a jungle. And the levels are better designed in this game. The way you can look around and find secret areas. You can even jump into these big rings. Like in the first one, you can play these little mini games. Like here, you gotta run around and collect these blue spheres. Check this out. This is awesome. Yeah, you gotta admit, that is kick-ass. Oh, you think you're gonna fight Eggman? Oh, nope, it's a robot. Ah, shit. Yeah, once again, if you get hit, you lose all your rings. That's one thing with all the Sonic games. Yep. Wow, it set the whole place on fire. Now that is cool. And as you'd expect, the boss battles are pretty awesome. I heard that Sonic CD is better, but I have to say, Sonic 3 is definitely the best Sonic game that I've ever played. There's a lot more care into designing how you play through the levels and the bosses and stuff. It's just really, really awesome. This is also one of the hardest Sonic games. I mean, the first one was hard, but this one is definitely a little bit harder. I like how the levels are longer and stuff, but if you ever die, you have to go right back to the beginning of a zone. But still, the levels are long, and the game's just really, really fun. This is one of the cooler boss fights. You gotta fly through the air and you gotta jump on him. It's awesome. There's also this cool competition mode. I mean, this was in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I didn't mention it, sorry. But in here it's even better. What you can do is you can do different time trial modes by yourself, or you can play with a friend. You can do a lot of cool races in a bunch of different levels. Well, overall, I think that this is the best of the first 3 Sonic platformers. The levels are very, very well designed. It's they put a lot more work into it. It's just a really, really fun game, and the competition mode is better than ever. I give this game an 8.8. Coming soon from Digital Insanity Reviews, we're going to give you a review for Grand Theft Auto 4 on Xbox 360 and Wii Fit for Wii. Coming soon.